What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So as you can tell, we are in the kitchen and I'm actually really excited to share with you guys this recipe. Now, this recipe is, it's my version of a recipe that I saw on my friend Zach's channel, and I am really proud of it because normally when I see stuff, I'm like, oh, there's no way I can do that. But I saw what he made and I was like, there's definitely a way that I can make that fit my diet. And that's what I'm gonna show you guys today. So on Zach's channel, he showed how to make a crunch wrap, but there was like red meat and there was a lot of dairy in it with cheeses and things like that. Now you guys know that I don't eat dairy, I don't really eat red meat very much. So I made my own version of this, and I've been eating it for the past like week, and I think it's absolutely amazing, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So what we're gonna be making today is the Chipotle turkey crunch wrap burger. So let's just jump into the ingredients that you're gonna need. The first thing you're gonna need is just some sort of cooking spray. I like to use this, I get this from Costco, but some sort of cooking spray. You could use oil if you want, but if you want to lower the calories, some sort of cooking spray that will make your stuff not stick very much. The tortillas that we're gonna be using is the Carb Balance Tortillas from Bitchin. These are absolutely awesome. So the macros on it is 120 calories, you have 3 grams of fat, you do have 19 carbs, but you have 13 grams of fiber. It's a lot of fiber. Don't recommend eating more than like 1 a day because you'll be in the bathroom a lot. And then we have 5 grams of protein in this. You're gonna need yourself a good old-fashioned avocado. I'm going to be using the 99.1 ground turkey breast. You could use any version. You could use the 93.7, you could use the 97.3. It really depends on how much fat you have to play with, but because I'm gonna be having fat from the avocado and other ingredients in this recipe, I just figured I would go low fat for the protein in this. And then the game changer for this recipe for me is this Chipotle sauce. This stuff is awesome. I showed it in my last video. There is a good amount of fat in this, so again, that's why I'm using the lower fat option for the meat. I understand that a lot of people are probably not gonna have this in their local supermarket or whatever, so you could obviously order it online if you wanted to. I'm not paid by this company at all, but a really easy alternative to using this, if you don't have this, you could use hummus. Hummus, I think, would be the best alternative. It's gonna be the most similar consistency, but if you are somebody that uses dairy, you could totally use like a queso, or instead of this, just use straight up cheese. But for me, because I do not eat dairy, this is so good. It's the way to go for this recipe. And then a couple miscellaneous items. This is what I'm gonna be seasoning my meat with. We just have some good old salt, pepper, and then this is actually a really nice little rub that I like to put on the turkey. So it's the Grill Mates Sweet and Smoky Rub. It's just gonna give the meat a little bit more flavor, especially with not having really much fat. This is just gonna give it a little bit of flavor and make it taste a little bit better. All right, so let's get into the recipe. First off, forgive me for the awkward camera angles. I'm filming this by myself, so I'm doing the best that I can in my small kitchen. But the first thing you wanna do is turn your burner on to about a medium heat, literally like 5 out of 10, because you don't want it to be too hot because you're gonna be cooking the turkey, and obviously you don't wanna eat turkey when it's raw, so you wanna make sure that you cook it all the way through, but you don't wanna burn the outsides too much, so I think a medium heat is good. And then obviously you're gonna spray the pan down with your nonstick cooking spray. So I went ahead and weighed out 4 ounces of the turkey breast. I'm gonna season this with the seasonings that I showed you earlier and then roll it into a little patty. So now we have our turkey breast all made into its little burger form. So we're just gonna throw this on the heat and then we're gonna get started making the base of the crunch wrap. So the turkey burger is doing its thing. Now let's get started with the actual base of the crunch wrap. This is super simple. All you're gonna do is put down the tortilla, half of the avocado, you're gonna mash that up, put that on the bottom, and then on top of that, just 1 serving of the Chipotle sauce, and then you'll be good to go. So just a little pro tip, when you are making the crunch wrap, try and put everything in the very center of the tortilla. That's gonna make it a lot easier to wrap. This one might be a little bit rough because these tortillas aren't the biggest, so this crunch wrap might not look super pretty, but it's gonna taste really good, and that's all that really matters. So as you guys can hear, the turkey burger is done. So this is where the recipe gets, I don't wanna say the most difficult, but this is where you have to be a little bit careful when it comes to making this crunch wrap. So let me show you how to do it, and hopefully not mess up, but again, I am not a professional, so we'll see. Okay, so I know this is super awkward, but again, I don't have a cameraman. So what you're going to do is place the turkey burger straight on top of the toppings that you have already made. And then from here, this is where the word crunch wrap comes, because you're going to wrap this turkey burger and then put it back on the heat and then make this tortilla crunchy and make it delicious. The way that you're gonna wanna wrap this is you wanna bring this side right here up to the top, and you're gonna pinch this side with your finger. As you can see, you're gonna grab this excess, you're gonna pinch it right there, just like that. So you pinch it there, and then you pinch that side down, and you're just gonna continue that all the way around the tortilla. All right, like I said, I am not a professional, but I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. So this is not my best work, but we have a little bit of room. You don't really want to have any of it open on the bottom, but it is what it is. But it looks good. It looks good from the top, you know, you can't even tell. But my recommendation would be, if you are going to make this, maybe use, if you don't want this to happen, if you want to make it look super pretty, maybe use a little bit less meat so there's not as much stuff that you're trying to stuff into the tortilla, or obviously just use a little bit bigger tortilla and you won't have this issue. So now what we're gonna do to make this crunch wrap a crunch wrap is we're going to spray the tortilla down with a little bit of the nonstick spray. So you're gonna spray that down a little bit, and then that is going to make it so when you put it on, back on the heat, it gives you that crunchy texture that makes it a crunch wrap. Makes sense, you know? Now for the home stretch, we are going to take the tortilla, put it straight back on the heat, and you're literally only gonna put it on the heat for maybe about 45 seconds to a minute on each side. It'll make the outside nice and crunchy, and the inside is obviously already cooked. Maybe heat up the elements inside a little bit more, and then you're good to go. Even though we had some technical difficulties, I think it actually turned out pretty good. So there it is. You can hear that? That's the crunchiness of the crunch wrap. The bottom, you know, there's a little bit of spillage on the bottom, but not too big of a deal. We got that crunchiness, and then it's gonna be super delicious on the inside. I do wanna state that this recipe is a template. You can do whatever you want. You know, as long as you have meat and a tortilla, like you could put lettuce in it, you could put spinach in it, you could put cheese in it, literally anything that you want to put in here, you can do that. But this is just a template to show you guys what you can do. If you want to change up the macros, if you want to use different tortillas, ones that have more calories, ones that have less calories, like, it's all up to you. It really is just a template for you to kind of play with. That's exactly what I did, and that's how I came up with this. So hopefully you're able to make something that might be similar, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same as this. Okay, so that's enough talking. Let's cut this thing in half and see what the inside looks like. Here we go. Ooh, and there it is in all its glory. Ooh, I cannot wait to eat this. Moment of truth time. We got half of the crunch wrap right here. Let's take a bite. So good. So there it is. That is the crunch wrap recipe. Obviously, I would love to see you guys make this your own, do your own version of it. I would love to see you guys kind of tag me in Instagram or whatever it might be, because I think that this is a really good option. It's super tasty, and it's kind of different than eating, you know, chicken and rice. So it was really nice to watch Zach's videos. I will link that down below as well. And then just kind of be like, okay, I see that version. What can I do to make this fit my needs? But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Everything that you need to know will be down in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.